Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Oh my god. Mostly.
Well, you know, we, another one happened.
I think Will had a nice nap.
Oh, I did. Sorry, I'm just waking up from that
The movie.
that movie. It's
The movie film.
dude, I don't know why I don't know why I fall asleep at these fucking movies. Like,
He's domestic.
I try so hard to get through them. I try really hard to like keep my fucking eyes.
You didn't even fall asleep during fucking Killings at Outpost Zeta. Even that ASMR fest
I know.
kept you awake.
It was weird.
But not this.
I
This
don't know
isn't
if
even
it was,
an ASMR fest.
I don't know if it was like the alcohol or like fucking. It's probably the movie, but like my god, I could not stay the fuck awake. Like, I was good until like the last like 5 minutes of the movie.
The climax.
I like zonked out at the fucking climax of the movie.
Epic ending.
Epic is a strong word, Alex.
Well, so we watched Fiend from Don Dohler, who made The Alien Factor from, I think, 1978.
Yes.
You know, I have kind of a weird conundrum here because this is probably a better movie than Alien Factor. It's more competent,
Yeah.
but oh boy,
It's just I
is
don't know.
this a basic bitch of a movie?
It's like it's pretty d- bland. Like
It's very bland.
there's like you said, it's like you didn't want anything like exciting, but like something to grab you, right? Something
Some
to like
suspense.
something to hold on to. Like there's some connection to the movie, like even just a little bit,
Mhm.
to get you kind of even remotely invested, even if it's like so ridiculous that it's hilarious. You know?
Well, I wasn't even because at some point I was like, okay, nothing ridiculous is gonna happen because it's just not. They're not
Well,
going
no,
for that
it's not
wavelength.
it's obviously not a ridiculous film. It's really just
But at least something interesting. You know? Because here's the thing. It's the basic plot, because we're not going to do this chronologically. But the
no.
basic plot of this is that there's like this demon thing, and it resurrects a dead person, and he has to like choke people to steal their life force, or else he like deteriorates. And he moves into a house in the suburbs, and the body count piles up, but his neighbor starts thinking that he's suspicious, something's up. So it's like you've seen Rear Window, you've seen like Disturbia, those movies about where someone thinks their neighbor is a fucking psychopath murderer. It's like that, except remove all the suspense.
I was gonna say after you like described it, I was like, if you think there's more to this movie
No.
than that, no, that's it.
That's it. That's the movie. Like, but like I said, just remove all the suspense, all the good acting, the good writing, etc., and you have Fiend.
Well, there's like the alien fiend thing is like a music instructor, and like I guess
He
it was
uses his position at the music school to like set up, I don't know, classes with like women, and he chokes them. And his like assistant is like kind of in on it.
it's so weird because like the concerned neighbor is like adamant that this guy is like evil, right? Like or something's going on with this guy. But like every scene of him like worrying about it is him just like saying it to his wife,
Yep.
who he could give like two shits to either of these characters. It's not like
Because it's just him saying that, oh, I don't know, I think that Longfellow, something's wrong with them.
well, and for some reason she's always like defending Longfellow with the fucking
originally
neighbor.
his annoyance is that Longfellow is always playing violin really loud. There's always a racket, and she's like, well, it's not a big deal. He never plays past like 9 p.m. But it's always just, you know, she tries to find some sort of explanation for it, and he thinks every little thing he does is sus.
Yes.
And some of them, that's the thing, is like, there's not a lot that's like really that, at least in the first half of the movie, there's not a lot that's really that suspicious. I mean, there's a fucking ridiculous scene because they always show that there's like these, it's like a suburban cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And there's always these kids like playing with a ball or playing baseball or soccer or whatever. And there's like a part where like they're just kicking a ball and the guy, Mr. Fiend Longfellow, catches it and just kind of stares at the kid.
Yeah, he's like super mean to these kids for like no reason.
Well, he just stares at him with his ball for like a minute. And the neighbor sees it and he's just staring at this kid and then he just throws it at him. And the kid catches it and the guy just walks back in the house. Like, that's...
Yeah, and they're like, why was he so mad? It's like, but the kid, like, why, again, why, like, I'm with the kids, like, why was he so mad? Like,
they didn't do anything.
They literally didn't do anything. There's, like, this weird tension in this scene, but, like...
It's stupid.
Just dumb?
Yeah.
Because there's, like, tension where there doesn't need to be. And there... A lot of times they do that, where it's, like, it's just tension for no reason.
Yeah, like the husband's going to work. And in the morning, when he goes to work, he's getting in his car, but he looks over, and Longfellow is scrubbing his windshield. And he just looks at him like, what is he scrubbing his windshield for? And it's
Well, there's even this part where, like, there's this perfect part where you could build tension, right? Where the neighbor goes over to the guy's house because he's going to confront him. Because a kid dies in the neighborhood. And the neighbor's like really like...
He has like a girl. The neighbor, he kills a girl.
He feels really, like the neighbor feels really sketchy about like this alien dude.
Because the killing happened right behind his house, like in his yard, basically.
And he claims that he was listening to music...
With his headphones.
So he didn't hear or see anything.
Yeah.
And so the neighbor is very suspicious.
Because he was sus when the movie began. But now he's just extra sus.
So there's this part where he goes over to confront him at the alien. The neighbor goes over to confront the alien.
He's not an alien, though.
Well, I mean, the demon thing.
I do think, though, for purposes of entertainment...
I keep saying alien, I'm sorry, but like it's like a zombie, like, demon thing. But I swear to God, the thing flies out into outer space at the end.
I will say this. I think for the sake of our entertainment... Don Doler should stick with aliens.
I think he should.
That's what I say.
But, so there's this scene where he goes over to this demon's house, and he's just kind of there, and then he starts confronting him, and the guy's like, well, I told you, like, we were listening to music, blah, blah, blah. Do you want some wine? And there's this perfect scene where you could build, like, all this tension, right? Even in dumb movies, we've seen this happen. Where it's just like, two people talking, one person goes away, and the other person like starts investigating the house and trying to find shit, right?
Yeah.
So the neighbor finds this room where he fucking stabs pictures of girls with his kitchen knife.
Our fucking Thanksgiving ham of an actor. This is so stupid. Like, okay, he has...
We'll explain the ritual room or whatever.
Because... This is so stupid. Like, he spends most of his time in the basement of this house, right? And in the basement, in the little corner, there's a bunch of, like, shower curtains. And behind the shower curtains is his ritual room. What does that mean? It's like a fucking tool desk with some candles on it and some pictures. And then in the corner is a bookcase that has, like, a single skull on it and, like, a book on witchcraft. Whoop-de-fucking-do, right? But the best part is he has a little chest on his ritual desk, right? And, you know, he goes over there after one of his murders, and
the special knife.
And he has these photos of all the women that he's going to kill or he has killed. Why does he do that? I don't know. But he opens it, right? And we're just thinking, like, what's in there? What's in there, Will?
It's a little tiny...
Is it a cool knife? Is it like a crazy, like, demon weapon?
Yeah, okay, cool. It's going to be like an ethereal knife that he uses in, like, some sacrificial...
Some sort of demonic shit, right? Some cool shit's in that chest.
Yeah.
But what's in there?
It's a tiny little goddamn, like, wooden-handled kitchen knife.
A little fucking knife you used to cut a steak or a fucking chicken parmesan.
Yes. In like any household in the 80s or the 90s, I'm sure you would find these.
Well, go to a fucking like Denny's or something and order like a chicken parmesan. You know that knife that they give you?
That steak knife they
That's
give you.
what the
Yeah,
fucking
that was the knife. And he like stabs these
and he's
fucking
like, and he stabs the fucking pictures.
these fucking pictures and just stabs them.
And our good guy neighbor finds this room.
So the neighbor finds this fucking room, and the perfect opportunity to build this intention and have like the fucking demon thing do some scary shit or something like that. But what do?
Nothing.
Nothing. He just hears a bunch of noises while he's exploring this room. Here's the guy coming back, goes outside the room, and everything's fine.
He tells his wife, like, I don't know, like, he has this weird room with all these chopped up pictures. And then she's like, it's fine, it's no big deal.
It's so stupid because he finds that stupid goddamn book and then buys it for himself, and that's like the only reason he knows kind of how to, like, what's going on.
Kind of.
So, sort of, but he's just guessing. Like, he's just... Like, why do we care about this neighbor? He's doing fucking nothing. He's not a private eye. He's not a detective. He's nothing. He's just fucking a concerned neighbor that at first just had a noise complaint, and then now he's, like, thinking this guy's fucking sus because he didn't hear a fucking murder of a girl. And they can't even make that exciting. They couldn't even make a domestic, like, drama or anything like that. Like, maybe it would have been cool to have like a horror movie, but like a domestic drama, like The Exorcist or like fucking Hereditary, something like that. Like, there's a domestic thing, there's a domestic dispute, like there's a family drama going on, and you have some horror shit. No, I mean that would be big brain, right? This is small brain.
Well, like, the most basic thing that any of these movies do is, if you're making a movie about like a guy who is like spying on his neighbor, the most basic shit that you do in a movie like this is you don't reveal anything about the neighbor until the end of the movie.
Well, and it's weird that they did. They like showed all their cards right there, and I think that's what made it like the most bland, because like they're just like, what's going on, that he's killing all these people.
And there's no shock.
But you're just watching. It's weird because you're watching the neighbor figure all this out.
But
But you already know it, so why do you care?
Because at least if the movie just started with a guy moving into a house in the suburbs and these murders start racking up, and all we know about him is that he plays violin really loud and he's kind of weird, like, but you hold all the cards until the very fucking end of the movie.
It could have been an okay movie. I'm not going to say it's going to be a great movie, obviously, but, like, damn, we would have gotten better than what we got.
Yeah. And then at the end, because there is a scene in this where he goes to the graveyard and finds the guy was dead, and he finds a picture of him, and he looks up the Fiend in the Book of Demons. But it's like, but again, if you saved that until the end, it would have been better. Would have been fine.
But again, we already knew. They showed all their cards at once and just fucking were like, here, now you gotta watch the neighbor figure it out.
See, that's fine, because you can make a good movie, but
maybe have
this ain't it.
Well, yeah, like, I don't know.
Because in movies like, I don't know, like Manhunter, we know who the killer is, we know blah, 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 but obviously the good guy doesn't know. But but in movies like that, there is a good, like, there's good filmmaking, so even while the person is figuring out shit that you yourself know, you're like, ooh, this is good, this is good.
Well, because it's just a full of, like, tension and, like, suspense, and, like, you don't know how he's going to figure out the next thing, or, like, how he's going to interact with the murderer and stuff like that.
And you also have tension because you know that there's deaths coming.
Yes.
And they do a good job in making you, like, kind of feel sad for the people dying, and you feel bad because you know that if they don't catch him, this thing's gonna happen. But this is like,
Well, but here's the problem. In Manhunter and stuff like that, it's usually someone like very closely connected to
Yeah.
these murders, or someone who cares if the next victim becomes like, sorry, someone becomes the next victim.
yeah,
So like there's some connection, right? There's some reason these people are so adamant about
Yeah.
finding this murderer, right? Because that's where the tension comes in. Like they need to find the murderer and
before the next person dies.
before some like chaotic shit happens. But in this, they chose to go with the neighbor that just has conversations with his wife, boring conversations with his wife. He's a little sus, and then he's very sus, and then he just fucking confronts the guy. Nothing happens, and then he reads a demon book and instantly knows the guy's a demon.
Doesn't matter though, because
There's no like oh I have to figure out why, or else he's gonna keep continuing to kill people. And like there is like they try to do
Barely.
that, but like not well.
no, at the very end of the movie, the very fucking end, his wife falls victim to Mr. Fiend demon, which, I mean, I saw that shit coming from like an hour away.
You knew it was gonna happen because he's like the guy's making his way through the neighborhood anyway.
Yeah,
He killed like one of the first victims we see on screen is a woman that's walking to that neighborhood.
yeah, like he's making his way there, and if you've seen even a few movies, you'll see it coming.
Yes.
So there's just no tension. There's nothing to really make you care, and it's like, okay, well, maybe there's some crazy shit. There's some crazy shit going on. Maybe there's some crazy death scenes. No, you know what the death scenes are like? If you've seen the fucking 1940s Wolfman, where he just kind of like chokes people, that's what you get. That's all it is. Except in this movie, they did the genius thing where every time he chokes people, he glows red because he's absorbing their...
Don Doler, for some reason, loves this like overlay of like these, like
It's all I could afford.
you'd call them like special effects, but they're just these weird. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like
They just like overlay like a color over the person. That's all it is.
because like in the other one, the Alien Factor, we had that like superimposed like invisible alien that looked like really dumb.
Yeah, it's like a claymation
And this is
monster.
kind of like that, but like it's just like an aura.
Yeah, it's
It's like a red aura.
it's like representing him like stealing people's life force and healing himself. Which
I think any other movie could have done this way better without that special effect, though. Like, you could have shown him, like, deteriorating, and then, like, he, like, chokes out a person, and, like, his skin starts, like, forming, in those, like, long, those takes where they have some special effects, like a time-lapse thing, where they, like, show him, like,
he heals.
restoring his skin and stuff like that.
No. Fuck
But no,
that.
you had a red aura, and then he's all better.
He's better. Which the acting, look,
Oh God! Especially the neighbor's wife. My God, her delivery was like all over the
oh
place.
yeah, when they tell them that like a kid's been murdered, she's like, "Oh dear God, no."
She's like, her delivery is all over the place. At times she's okay, and then other times she's like the worst actress in the movie.
What was making me lose my fucking goddamn marbles though was the fucking dipstick playing our Fiend.
Yeah, he looks like just a fucking like.
Someone's fucking fat uncle,
He's just so like awkward and like stupid in every scene.
Mr. Kendall.
And I don't buy him as this like demon thing ever.
Oh, dude.
I never bought it. I never looked at him and was like, you know what? This is a menacing threat. They gotta really stop him. I'm scared. I'm really worried about this guy. Like, this guy is bad.
Some uncle.
It's
You know what it
that
is?
uncle that drinks Chardonnay in a basement.
It's a dude in a basement drinks Chardonnay, and every time we have to deal with him like murdering people, he looks like he's taking a dump.
I just love how
He looks like he's just squeezing out a fucking That one.
Every time like someone gets on the ground and he has to like get on top of them
Oh.
to choke them, he frog leaps on top of them and like does this awkward like shuffle and then like
It's so stupid.
it's so dumb.
And they dress him up like, cause I mean, this is overcompensation on their part, because every time he's murdering people, he's dressed in like all black, and it's like, you know what, overcompensating.
Well, I mean, this movie was so exciting. I fell asleep at the climax. Like the zenith, like the end of the fucking movie where like everything comes to a head and I just fucking zonked.
You know, my favorite bit of absolute like limp dick in this movie is in the scene where he invites his like music school assistant over to his basement so they can look at like charts, right?
So they look at like the finances of the music school or something.
And then a student shows up and he shoos the guy away. And he tells him to like
this assistant or the financial guy or whatever he is.
He's an assistant.
He's so awkward because every single time he's on screen, you can tell he's actively trying not to look at the camera.
Oh, I love the assistant.
Like,
I love him because first of all, his glasses are always like at the very end of his nose, so he's not even like looking through them, and he's just always like, It's just I love it because it's so bad, it crosses that line into just pure entertainment.
Yeah.
But he shoos him away and tells him to get like, don't forget the sheet music, which it's in a box that just has in giant Sharpie sheet music. Stupid. Yep. So the student shows up.
He has like 6 boxes that say sheet music
but
on
it's
them.
this special one. He has to get it. And so he shoos him away and he takes the music student and he's going to, he's going to choke her in her lesson, right? And then he's like about to choke her and then there's a knock on the door. And he goes upstairs, opens the door, and it's the fucking assistant. He's like, I forgot my sheet music. And he's like, how dare you? How dare you, Mr. Gray? Stupid. And he takes his fucking sheet, and he just leaves, and then he sees a guy in a car just watching. And then he goes back downstairs, and he's like, there's a man in a car you wouldn't happen to know. He's like, oh yeah, that's my boyfriend Billy. End scene.
I also think it's
literally end scene. Like, where?
It's fucking so bad.
Like, where is the suspense?
There's none. They could have built so much suspense. There's so much. There is something here.
Like, the situation is literally, it's written for you to get suspense out of it.
There's an inkling of like what they were going for, right? I get it. I get what they were going for, but my God, the execution is a fucking stumbly goddamn mess.
Like, imagine if, he did kill her. And he kills her, and then the assistant shows up, wanting his fucking sheet music. So he has to take the fucking assistant away. And then after that, he finds out that, oh shit, her boyfriend's out there too. And now you have a whole situation. Imagine that.
And what if the boyfriend gets super sus and finally has a connection to care about?
Imagine.
Because he actually, lost a girlfriend. The neighbor doesn't lose jack shit.
Until the very fucking end.
When he already fucking knows what's going on, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And, they chose the wrong protagonist for this movie. Because I did not give a single fuck about this fucking neighbor. He's just this stupid guy that talks to his wife all the time. And fucking is kind of suspicious about his weird neighbor. Yeah. That's it. And,
He does, however, work in an office where his wall is like a fucking shower curtain with papers stapled to it for some reason. I don't know what that's all about.
I get what they're going for, like a domestic horror with an alien, sorry, not alien. God, why do I keep saying alien?
Because you wish.
I think you keep thinking of Alien Factor. So it's about a demon going through the suburbs and
just making his way,
murdering people, and it's this horrific situation, right? He kills the kid and all this stuff. But this is the blandest way to tell this kind of story.
Yes.
There is no inspiration here.
There's a fucking millimeter of inspiration.
Like,
Just it,
I understand that Don Dohler had a vision, but maybe he should have shelved this one.
I think that somebody should have cleaned up the script.
Yeah, you think he wrote this pile?
I know. I think someone should have fucking done a little a peer review of this thing and added some notes to it because like it's not a bad idea. I get it. I get it. It's just,
You could
it's
do
about
some,
this family, it's about this couple in the suburbs, and one day their perfect peaceful like idea of their neighborhood is like shattered and all these violent crimes start happening. And what if it's your neighbor that you trusted, but it's just like they can't even do that right.
One, it's weird because there's like it's doing all that with like imagine a domestic horror where the neighbors are getting suspicious about their new neighbor that's moved in and like killing, like all these killings are going on, but like take out like all the tension, all the excitement, all the horror, all the fucking just like strip everything down to the bare bones and you get this movie.
It would have been I mean, even at the very least, if the murders were actually like not just a sack of potatoes to watch.
Well, or have or I don't know.
Nothing.
Like, you could even added like scenes of the fucking our fat uncle fucking demon guy doing some weird shit. Like, I mean, he does that weird shit with the kids, but we get like a few scenes where the neighbor actually sees him doing like weird shit.
Yeah. It's like every other movie has like scenes where like, they think something's weird, and then one day they see the neighbor taking out big black bags of garbage. Like
Yeah.
one day, like they see a woman walking into the house, and then she never leaves, and the next morning he's taking out big, huge bags of garbage. What's in the bags? Like,
Well, it's like
little things like that.
like Rear Window or Fright Night have
Yeah.
that thing where it's like this voyeuristic thing where you're like watching the neighbor do this like shit and you're just like you're kind of suspicious and you have no idea, and then something insane happens and you don't know how to fucking like tell people, and there's like tension there because like you don't know if people are going to believe you, or you don't
Because you're just
know.
a neighbor. You're not like a
Like,
cop or
you're just an innocent bystander. So if you see someone murdered, like, and you have no proof, and like the neighbor is good at like cleaning it up and like making sure everyone believes different shit. Like, it would have been better if like the fat uncle was like a like a nice guy, and like he like made friends with all the neighbors, so like no one believed the one neighbor that thought he was doing like some weird shit.
that would have made their little thing work better, because if the whole point of the movie is like, ooh, like the peace of the suburbs is shattered, well then wouldn't it be better if like the neighbor was just some nice guy, and at the end of the movie it's about how even the nicest people can have a fucking like dark underbelly.
Yeah.
And that nice house in the suburbs has a fucking basement full of demon shit. Like,
Well, there's a lot of potential here, right?
yeah.
You could make a good even B movie.
But they don't do any of it.
You could make a good B movie, but there's zero inspiration here. There's like zero like want to make a like actually inspired like horror movie. Like, again, I say again, it's like bare bones as fuck. There's no meat here. There's nothing. It's just like it's just stupid. It's just bland. It's just it's like bran flakes. Like, you want Frosted Flakes. You want like something like good and sugary and sweet and like
No.
like but you get nothing. You just get fucking just shafted the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, it's just moldy white bread.
I do think we should talk about the end that I had to watch twice because, twice. The first time I viewed it behind my eyelids. So
Is there even anything to talk about with this thing? Like,
no, but I wanna like, we've talked so much about how like there's so much potential here, right? And like how everything happens, and then it like reaches ahead, and this is the best they could do. This is like your big, like big climax, right? Everything you've been building up to, all the deaths, all the neighbors being suspicious. Well,
The one,
the one neighbor being suspicious. Everything going on. Like, this is where you're leading up to. So the guys found out that the fucking
because a
the
kid,
corpse had come back to life. It was like an Englishman that was like really nice and everything like that.
but he got possessed or
But he got
something.
possessed, and like he's like, I don't know why the kids would like desecrate the grave, basically, and like saying all this stuff. So like the neighbor like knows that this guy is like,
Also, the guy at the grave shows him a picture of the guy buried, and
Yeah,
it's literally the guy.
so the neighbor knows that this guy is back from the dead, and he's probably the one killing everyone.
Well, then, the guy goes upstairs, and in the meantime, a kid shows up because one of the neighborhood kids was climbing a tree,
Yeah.
and he saw the guy, the demon guy, leave the house, and he followed him, and he saw him kill somebody, kill his assistant.
Yes.
So he shows up at the neighbor's house and is like, I need to talk to the guy. But the wife's like, well, you can talk to me. He's like, no. And then he just leaves. And the guy comes downstairs. He's like, what's that? He's like, oh, the kid was just saying he needs to speak to you. And the guy runs over to the kid's house. In the meantime, our fucking demon guy calls the wife and is like, hey, I'm sick. Can you bring me some, like, painkillers?
Yes. So the
And
wife
she's like,
does.
okay.
She
And so we just get, like,
obliges.
these two scenes, like, of the neighbor trying to convince the kid to spill the beans and the wife wandering around our fucking guy's potato house saying his name until finally, like, the kid spills the beans and the wife, she sees a picture of herself on his fucking, like, board of, I don't know, stabby things.
Where he's gonna stab a steak knife into it.
And, you know, she finds the body of the assistant, and then the guy comes out and kills her. But the neighbor runs down, and they have a little scuffle, and he sees the body. And they have another boring-ass scuffle where the guy, like, he, like, holds him up and starts, like, draining his life force. But the kid, see, he's down there. And there's two swords on the wall, two rusty swords.
I cannot believe they went this direction.
And the kid takes the sword and off-screen stabs our guy. And he screams, and we see, like, his body, like, deteriorating.
Like revert back to its old
Kind of
its
rotted
corpsey
state.
body. So and then like the ethereal thing like finally like floats away from his body.
And his body just ragdolls,
Yeah.
like dead. And the fiend demon energy floats off into the sky.
I swear to God, it like floats off into space.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
I don't understand how you make this scene
With a
the way
straight
they-
face?
the way they did with a straight face. Like, there is so much you could have done, and you just did nothing. You just fucking
I don't think, because here's the thing, like, everything about it is just stupid. Like, the acting, the like, their, like, pretend fighting.
I don't think there's any way to put it into like words. Like we can say all this stuff happened.
You just
but,
have to
like,
see the stupid
You have
thing.
to see it for yourself, and I don't recommend watching the whole movie.
Oh, good. I mean,
like,
you can.
go
by all
find-
means.
Go find this on YouTube and just watch the end scene. It's like, it's trash.
Yeah, that's what you spend an hour and a half waiting for.
Like this movie was so exciting that we had to go back and watch. I had to make you watch the ending twice.
Yeah, well, I had to watch our fucking Tubbo get poked off screen
Twice.
and scream like a ham
Because of my incompetence and my fucking like,
and float away.
because I'm such a great movie reviewer that I fell asleep to the movie that we were gonna review.
You're truly the next Roger Ebert.
Yep, next
What's
level
that?
here.
That's the quote that they would put on the box of this.
I fell asleep to
I
this.
fell asleep. Will Christensen.
At the very end of the movie. Just
I fell asleep
I
during
fell-
the climax.
I fell asleep at the argue. You could argue that this is the most exciting thing that happens in the entire movie, and you'd probably be right. But I fell asleep during that.
because it's stupid.
Dude, it's so dumb.
Like, it's just stupid. It's not. It's just, it's fish in a barrel. Like, it's extremely, extremely low effort. That's the issue.
There's almost no effort. It's lazy.
Yeah, it's it's just very low effort. Like there's nothing there at the end to really get me to care, and it's a thing that floats away in this space, like whoop-de-doo.
This is a movie that exists, and
It is a movie that
it's
exists.
very much so not the worst movie we've ever watched.
No,
and,
not even close.
and it's, I mean, I guess it's watchable, but like,
I'm sure.
It's just
By some standards, this might be watchable.
I would argue it is sort of watchable, but it's not.
No, it's not.
There's nothing here really.
Yeah, it's not like
Nothing groundbreaking and nothing that's gonna be like, oh, I want to watch this movie all the time. I don't know.
oh no.
I don't know how anyone could look at this movie and be like, this is like next level shit.
Yeah, I watch this all the time.
No, there's no way. But goddamn, it's just fucking boring and wasted potential.
Wasted potential is right.
That's the best thing I can do to describe this. Just like the potential was there, and they fucking just, I don't even know what they did. They just fucking were like, nah, like
Nah.
there's so much potential here, and we're not gonna do anything with it. It's fucking weird.
This is the best they could do. Thanks.
So shitty to pretty. I don't like.
A 3.
Yeah, like
But here's the thing.
there's barely any entertainment value in this.
I'd rather watch Killings at Outpost Zeta again, because at least that had like sci-fi world building and ASMR value.
Dude, I did not fall asleep during
And even though
Killings at Outpost Zeta. Okay.
Killings at Outpost Zeta is like one of the most goddamn fucking relaxing, snoozy, doozy movies, that still didn't put you to sleep.
It did not. It did not put me into like lullaby land.
But this did.
As hard as this fucking movie.
Yeah. Like that had more effort.
It's been a minute since I've fallen asleep during a movie.
Dude, that had more effort to it. That's why 3 out of 10. Like, yeah.
At least in Killings at Outpost Zeta, there is an attempt at world building. Right?
There is a lot of world building.
There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of world building. They do a lot of shit with a little bit of time. And yes, it's hard sci-fi, kind of done dumb. But like,
but at least they're trying something.
At least they tried something new, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't like completely waste that potential, because they did have a pretty fleshed out world.
Yeah.
Going on.
And it all
this
kind of makes sense in its own world, but this
did not do any of that. It just is fucking lazy filmmaking and just bland milquetoast of a movie.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It just they barely tried.
What would you give this?
Honestly, I kind of want to rate it lower just because I fell asleep. I think I'm gonna rate it a 2. I really do. Like,
nah, I can't kick it in the balls that much.
I don't know, dude. Like,
because it's not like completely
right.
incompetent.
I don't.
It is boring as fuck, but
it's not incompetent. I mean, it. The plot is all over the place, but like, and the pacing is.
Is it though? The plot isn't all over the place. It's just like.
I'm sorry, the
basic.
Plot, I meant the pacing. The pacing's like kind of all over the place, because there's like scenes where there should be lots of tension and there's not.
No, they just kill it.
And then I don't know. So yeah, maybe a 3. A 3 is a fair. Yeah, that's a fair point.
But nothing higher.
Because it's not a 2. You're right. Because a 2 is like pretty bad.
A 2 is like is just like means that
like barely watchable.
We can't give you a 1.
Like you're crawling towards the end of this fucking movie.
Yeah,
at a 2. A 1 is just like almost unwatchable.
A 1 is
it's like
Savage Water.
It's like damn near unwatchable.
That's
like,
Savage Water level.
I would argue that Savage Water is unwatchable. Like,
it is.
I think Savage Water is one of those movies like you turn it on and 5 minutes later, like no shit, turn it off. Like, I don't know anyone who would get excited in the first like 10 minutes of Savage Water enough to like want to watch the rest of the movie. I really don't. Now this one, you might be able to get through it. Like honestly, you could watch the first 5 minutes and be like, maybe there's something interesting here.
Look, opinions are a thing. There are people out there, because I did read them. There are people out there who enjoy this.
Which is
So
fine. I mean, arguably, I wouldn't, but you could arguably get 10 minutes into this and be like, this is interesting. Okay, I want to see where they go with this, right?
there are people like that, and the movie is on YouTube, so
Listen,
maybe you're that person.
more power to you.
Yeah.
I'm just sad that this didn't have a chubby detective alien fighting a fucking invisible alien in like a alternate dimension that looks stupid as hell.
Listen,
This is not
yeah.
that movie.
Again, this is more competent, more well made than Alien Factor, but sometimes I just need shit.
I think Alien Factor had more of like a
Things.
more exciting, like,
There's like 5 aliens in that.
yeah, and like a
And they were all terrible, and it was great.
and a chubby detective alien that wants to investigate it and like fights all of them and kills literally every single one of them.
With ridiculous, like, speakers. Remember that shit?
Yes.
Like, that's what we need. I need shit. Like, sometimes, you know,
I just want something weird. I don't know, like give me some fucking weird shit that I haven't seen before. We've
seen this shit
We've seen this movie done way fucking better.
a million times.
A million times. There's always this domestic horror. Like it's happened over and over again. Just like do something new with your subject matter, though.
Please.
Like if you could make this kind of movie and make it have something new and exciting and like
This is why
spook-worthy.
This is why we liked Killings at Outpost Zeta more.
Because it was interesting.
Because it was a guy who had $5 and made a fucking goofy, hard sci-fi movie about a rock monster that hates air. And our man Don Doler took his $5 and made just another fucking movie about a neighbor who has a murderer neighbor.
With zero inspiration.
Whoop-de fucking doodle-doo. Like,
at least Killings at Outpost Zeta, and I know we keep going back to that, but it's like literally one of the only 3 movies we've watched in
so far,
1980.
Because obviously Challenge of the Tiger is the fucking shit.
Like, I'm not even going to shit on that movie because that movie was fucking awesome.
That is Kino.
It's fucking great. But like, Killings at Outpost Zeta, there was like lore and world building, and it was interesting. You wanted to kind of know more about the world. Like, if you were into that kind of thing, you're just like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like, they're doing a lot of shit with, like, a very
limited budget.
Very little budget, and there's a lot going on. They're talking about a lot of stuff about, like, sci-fi, and if you're into, like, hard sci-fi, it's not the worst route you could go for
if you
B
want
movies.
Hard sci-fi and beat boops, it gives you that. But I get...
That's why I didn't fall asleep, because I wanted to know more about that world.
But me personally, I get nothing out of this movie.
No,
because there's no fucking gore. There's no goddamn nudity. Like, there is zero in this thing to appease... Because, listen, there's zero in this to appease my intellectual brain, because the movie's just stupid. And there's also zero to appease my lizard brain.
Yeah, like at least Challenge of the Tiger appeased my lizard goo brain
With
that likes people getting fucking like
everything
hit in unique and new ways. And I mean, I hate to admit this, but also just shit tons of nudity.
Copious amounts of nudity, but again, lizard brain. This, none of that. None of that. Everyone in this movie looks like a fucking potato.
Yeah.
Like I joked that this looks like the real world. This movie.
And I will reiterate again to the day I die, the murderer was not convincing. I did not for 1 second buy him as the murderer, and it took me out of the movie every single time.
Because it's a ham.
Yes.
It's a fucking ham.
It's someone's uncle just fucking trying to be convincing at murdering people, and I just did not buy it for 1 single second.
Talking with the fucking, like, Cary Grant voice.
I did not buy in at all.
I'm done with this movie.
Me too.
I'm worth...
fucking done.
It's not worth the brain matter.
I don't know why we've spent 44 minutes harping on it, because it doesn't even deserve that. It's just... If you want to watch it, go search Fiend 1980 on YouTube.
It's on there.
It's on there. Go watch it for yourself. I'm never going to recommend this movie.
If you enjoy this, I'm very proud of you.
Listen, like, you...
I'm happy for you.
Reviews are subjective, okay? You can like it if you want. I don't care. Just don't try and get me to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm not. Don't make me suffer.
Yeah, just like we obviously don't like it, so that's our opinion.
Listen, I tried. I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted
okay.
to like this, but no.
Yeah, no. I wanted to I liked maybe where it was going, and then it just fucking squandered it and just fucking was like, no, we're not going to do anything with
Nothing.
we're not going to do anything with this subject matter. Nothing new or exciting, and we're not even going to do the old stuff that was old and exciting, okay?
We're not even gonna try to appease your lizard brain.
Nope, you don't even get any cool scenes of
Nothing.
like murderers or nothing. Nothing.
No cool visuals. No vibes.
You get zero.
Nothing.
You get 0%. Like it's a movie, stuff happens. That's about it.
Yeah. Just fuck this.
Yep. They mostly come out at night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex. Oh, before we sign off,
Yes. Oh, sorry.
we should probably mention, because with holidays and everything coming up.
Oh yeah, sorry. We forgot to mention. I totally forgot. Sorry. We're going on a break.
Yeah, because lots of holidays, lots of shit coming up. We're just gonna take it easy, be safe, but we will be back. I believe it's January 3rd.
Yes, that's Sunday.
That Sunday we will be back to our normal shit. So just if you don't see if you see all the radio silence from us coming up, don't worry, we didn't kill ourselves because of this movie.
Yeah, seriously.
Don Doler didn't.
He didn't. He didn't finish us.
I don't know if he's still alive, but his ghost didn't fucking murder us in our sleep for making fun of this movie.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. So yeah, we're not gonna put out anything for like 2 weeks.
It's not that long, but
Well, I mean, we'll be back. Obviously, it's not like we're going on a long hiatus.
just be aware.
But we're actually informing you this time because the other ones have been like impromptu hiatuses. This is a purposeful one.
It's just us being cheese dips, but this time it's trust me, it's planned,
This
like a
is
professional podcast.
This is us just dipping out for the holidays.
That's it. So enjoy yourselves.
So please, everyone, have a really safe and really good holiday season. If you celebrate it, Merry Christmas. I know it's going to be kind of different this year. I know the world's kind of on fire right now.
Yeah, it's to put it mildly.
So whatever you do, please do it safely. Let's not let this get more out of control than it's already got.
Yes.
So please be safe, and just have a good holiday season. Really, like, have a good Happy New Year. And we'll see you in the new year.
We will see you
in 2021.
before you know it. Yeah.
2021. Well, we won't see you. We'll talk to you, I guess.
We will be back.
We will be back. So for They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all in the new year.
Bye-bye.
Happy holiday.
Oh my God. No. No. Oh my God, no.